The river is silent, a silence too heavy, too deep, as if the water itself is holding its breath. Then, ripples. The surface stirs. A massive shape glides just beneath the murk, eyes like lanterns drifting closer to shore. On the bank, a handful of humans stand frozen. In their hands, the first sharp blades chipped from stone, crude, jagged, fragile, against a monster armored in scales and hunger. This is no hunt for deer. This is a gamble against death itself. 4.7 million years ago, the rivers of the Pliocene cut across endless savannas, feeding lush forests and sprawling swamps. Herds of antelope and mastodon trudged to the water's edge, their tracks carving deep grooves in mud. But the rivers were not safe. Beneath the water's skin lurked monsters, giant crocodiles, the rulers of river and marsh. For early humans, water meant both life and danger. It slaked thirst. It offered fish, turtles, reeds, and roots. But every sip, every crossing, every hunt near its edge was shadowed by death. The ancestors, Australopithecus and early Homo, small, lean, and fragile. Barely over a meter tall, weighing little more than 40 kilograms. Their weapons: clubs, stones, sharpened sticks. But this time, something new glinted in their hands. Stone blades, shards of flint napped sharp along one edge. They were clumsy, fragile, and could shatter with a strike, but they were sharper than any claw they possessed. It was the dawn of a revolution. The first time bone and hide and muscle would face sharpened stone. Crocodiles thorbjarnarsoni and its kin, giants stretching nearly 8 meters long, weighing over a ton, armor of scales thicker than shields, jaws lined with conical teeth, each capable of crushing bone to powder. They lurked unseen, patient hunters. Bursts of explosive power launched them from still water, clamping prey in jaws that death itself could not pry open. To them, a human was nothing more than a morsel. At dawn, the band crept along the riverbank. The leader, a scarred hunter with fire in his eyes, raised a stone blade. They had a plan. Bait the beast, wound it, drive it back, claim the river crossing for themselves. Children and mothers stood far behind, on higher ground. Hunters crouched near the reeds, stones ready, spears lifted. The water rippled. Shadows swirled. Then, eruption. The giant crocodile exploded from the shallows. Water churned white as its jaws clamped down on a spear, splintering it. A hunter screamed as the beast dragged him toward the water. Another rushed forward, slashing with stone. The blade tore a gash along the crocodile's jaw. Blood mingled with river foam. The monster thrashed, tail whipping like a tree trunk, sending men tumbling. Mud and blood sprayed high into the dawn light. The riverbank became a battlefield. Spears jabbed into armored hide. Clubs pounded uselessly. Stone blades flashed, carving shallow wounds. The crocodile's roar was a guttural rumble, vibrating through bone and earth. It lunged, jaws snapping shut on a hunter's leg. A sickening crack. The man vanished into the river in a swirl of red. The survivors howled in fury, pressing forward. They had to fight. Retreat meant slaughter. The leader leapt onto the beast's back. Both hands clutched a sharpened stone. With a primal scream, he plunged it deep into the creature's eye. The monster convulsed, rolling, thrashing, tail smashing trees and hunters alike. The river erupted in foam and blood. The leader was thrown, body slammed into mud. But the damage was done. The crocodile reeled, bellowed, and with one final lunge, slid back into the depths, its body trailing a crimson wake. Silence fell. The river stilled. The survivors stumbled back, battered, bleeding, hollow-eyed. They dragged the wounded to higher ground, their cries piercing the morning air. By the water's edge, the carcass of a smaller crocodile, slain by spears and stone blades, was hauled onto the bank. Its flesh, its hide, its bones, salvation for days of hunger. Around the fire that night they ate. Hands trembled as they carved with bloodied stones. The taste of survival was bitter, but it was theirs. At the river's edge, humanity took a step. A fragile band of prey dared to wound the tyrant of water. What saved them was not strength nor speed. It was the blade. The idea that stone, sharpened by thought, could defy muscle and fang. 4.7 million years ago, along rivers choked with monsters, something eternal was born. Ingenuity, courage, unity. And from these first strikes of stone against scale, we endured. We became human.